Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, and welcome to Command Power, the show in which we discuss all things Magic the Gathering with a focus on Commander.
And welcome to another episode of our card spotlight series in which I highlight a card that I think should see more play in Commander. But before that, just a quick reminder to click subscribe if you enjoy my videos. We're well on our way to 1 million subscribers and your support means everything to me. And today we're going to be talking about Planar Atlas. For 2 colorless, Planar Atlas is an artifact that says Planar Atlas enters the battlefield tapped. When Planar Atlas enters the battlefield, you may look at the top 4 cards of your library. If you do, reveal up to 1 land card from among them, then put that card on the top of your library and the rest on the bottom in a random order, and tap, add colorless. This card is, in my opinion, one of the best 2-mana rocks in Commander, and yet it seems play in 0% of all Commander decks. This is absolutely unreal to me. I can't understand why. The price certainly isn't a factor because it's only $1.50, and maybe it's because it's pretty rare because it was printed only in Jumpstart 2022, and that set wasn't as widely opened maybe as some others, but this card should be in so many more decks. It should basically go in almost every deck that is 2 or fewer colors. I honestly don't understand it, and I think it's because people really overvalue coming in untapped as a mana rock. And I get it, it is good when mid-game you get to double spell by having your mana rock come in untapped. That is certainly a useful ability to have, and a lot of mana rocks do get a slight bump because of that. And then tapping for color is obviously also great as well. This doesn't tap for color, but that hasn't stopped all sorts of other mana rocks such as Mind Stone and Thought Vessel from seeing play, and they are quite a bit worse than this, I would say, most of the time. The reason this is so good is that triggered ability. It is such a good card to have in your opening hand. Having this in your deck just drastically reduces the amount of mulligans you're going to have to take, because any hand with this and 2 lands is basically a keep if your deck is low curve enough. It can almost guarantee that you're going to hit your 3rd land when it comes into play, and even if it doesn't, it's going to dig you 4 cards deeper towards finding that 3rd land. That just makes hands with Planar Atlas so much better than those that don't have Planar Atlas. How often are you really using the extra mana from a mana rock coming in untapped on turn 2? Not that often, to be honest. This is also fantastic in any deck that has a 4-cost commander, because you can almost certainly guarantee that you're going to be able to play your commander on turn 3 if you have this in your opening hand. On top of that, I think some people are maybe turned off by the fact that they have to look at the top 4 cards and put them on the bottom of their library, and maybe they don't want to do that. But here's the thing, actually you don't. It is a may. You don't need to do this at all if you don't want to. You absolutely don't even need to look at the top 4 cards, so you can keep everything on top. If you know you've got something good coming up or something like that, then you can just leave it there. You don't actually need to do anything with it. You also don't need to necessarily, after you've looked at them, put a land on top if you don't want to. You can just ship them all to the bottom, and that actually gives it some added utility late game, because if you're looking for a very specific card, their odds are slightly better after you look at the top 4 and ship them to the bottom to get it, particularly if you're looking for a specific kind of land. So if you're trying to hit something like Cabal Coffers or Urborg or something along those lines, this is going to give you an extra 4 shots at finding it. Top decking an Arcane Signet is absolutely useless in the late game. This can actually have some utility if you need it to, and if you don't, then you could just play it and just don't take advantage of the trigger. There's really no downside to this, but it's such a good mana rock to draw early and to get out on turn 2 or turn 3. For me, this is basically the first mana rock I put into any deck these days. In general, having cards like this in your deck also allows you to go a little bit lower on lands that you normally would, and that's a nice feeling to be able to have. I just love this card, and I think it's incredibly underrated. 0% of decks is ridiculous. This should be in so many more decks, and it's really quite a good card. Definitely give it a try. So there you have it. Those have been my thoughts on this new spoiler. What do you think about this card? Please let me know in the comment section below. I read all comments and respond to all of them too. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click like or subscribe. It really helps the channel. And until next time, take care. Woo!